to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. Well, the Indiana Fever has ended the 2025 season, and what a season it has been. In a loss to the Las Vegas Aces, 107-98 of Game 5 in the semifinals. Now, if you are one of those people who tends to be like, oh, well, they lost. Good job. I'll see you next year. You're probably not going to understand my wave of emotions. When I do live streams of games, it's really fun. It's really positive. We have an amazing community of people who hang out for these games. And I get a lot of feedback in the chat, through emails, through direct messages from people who thank me and say, I'm so appreciative for a positive place to watch these games. And it really means a lot to me, because even as I did as a teacher, wherever I do it, in any leadership position, it is important to me to be a place where people are not negative. Not that you don't, get emotional or at times, but I mean an overall spirit of negativity. It's something that I don't want to be a part of. And so I have made it a priority to steward well the platform that I have. And when I hear from people who say through the chats, thank you so much, or emails or whatever, thank you so much, that matters to me. But I also want to say thank you, because at times it has been a fight to not sink under the weight of not just what has happened to this team throughout this season, but to all the other voices that have basically vomited all over some of the team members, the coaches, or the coach, head coach. It's been quite a something to observe and to feel. And so I had to walk away from certain things, from certain people, even because I didn't want to give myself to that kind of thing. Instead, I chose to give myself to supporting this team, to supporting the players on this team, to see with my eyes and hear and feel with my heart the absolute resilience through unspeakable adversity this team has gone through. Now, if you know me well, you know that I don't invest myself in a whole lot of stuff. Like, I'm invested in family. I'm invested in friends. Obviously, first of all, I'm invested in God and Jesus Christ and faith in him. Those things are givens. Other stuff, it takes a lot for me to invest my heart in. But my heart has been invested and is invested in the Indiana Fever, and everything they went through did not make me pull back. It made me appreciate them more. It made me watch their story closer. It made my heart more engaged in what they were, because as I say all the time, sports are a microcosm of society. And as I have said for a long time, that this Indiana Fever 2025 season, this is not just a great American story, as we say, although it is. It's not just a great sports story, although it is. This is a God story. I said it a long time ago, and I still say it now. This is a God story, no matter the outcome. I said, even before this team made the playoffs, if they never win another game, it is still a God story. And the motto, the now you know, you could go, well, they lost. What do you mean now you know? Oh, yeah, now you know. Now you know what it looks like to have one another's back like never before. Now you know what it looks like to dig deep and play for one another, even when it would be easy to turn on one another, because that's what people often do when they're dealing with adversity. But now you know that they mean business when they say, we're not tanking, we're not giving up. We believe and we have each other's back, and we're pouring into one another, from the players pouring into each to the other players, to the coach pouring into the players, to the players pouring into the coach. And I should say coaches, because there's a whole staff. Now you know what that looks like. And you don't find that everywhere. You hear these players over and over again saying, I've never experienced a team like this. I've never experienced this kind of love. Oh, but it's just basketball. No, it is a game, but there's more to the game. There are relationships. There are life lessons in this thing. I'm seeing people who are not even Indiana Fever fans who are commenting on social media, and they're just like, what I just saw, I have never seen before. Kelsey Mitchell goes down. Aaliyah Boston is fouled out of the game because absolutely, unequivocally, the officials were not fair. Do I believe that the officiating played a factor in who won this game? Absolutely so. I don't know if I'm going to get into all that. I have the box score up. I might go through that. I don't know. I really want this video to be my thoughts about this team and about this season and about many of you who still with this team, who were invested in this team, whose hearts were in this thing. The officiating played a factor. I feel like there were orders somewhere. And when it looked like the Fever would pull off what some people thought was unthinkable, the officials stepped in, started calling phantom fouls. Obviously, there was an agenda to make sure that Aaliyah Boston was out of the way. A'ja Wilson and her constant moving screens, not a problem. She had one, not a problem as far as the officials are concerned. She had one foul until late in the game, and she got two. Meanwhile, Aaliyah Boston, foul here, foul there, and the sixth foul, are you kidding me? So I absolutely do feel that way. And that really bothers me because this team has busted their tail, has been through so much, had to see Kelsey go down and not even be able to walk as she would walk. I mean, she didn't get on the stretcher, but having to be helped out of there. And we'll talk about Kelsey in a separate video with the diagnosis she has. But I feel like it was ripped out of their hands instead of allowing the players to decide this game. And you could clearly see it. After game 4, A'ja Wilson had something to say about a special whistle. I did a whole video on that and showed you the numbers. She's the one with the special whistle. She's the one who doesn't get called for moving screens. And yeah, it's egregious. So yeah. But for this team that some people are calling the hospital team or the team of rejects, for this team to get to overtime, 5 minutes away from making it to the finals, that's just phenomenal. But I struggled to sleep last night because my heart hurt. My heart hurt. I didn't want it to end. You hear the players say they didn't want it to end. They love this group. They love their coaches. They love this team and this organization. They didn't want it to end. Yeah, I get it. I felt the same way. I didn't want it to end. I didn't want to stop watching this team play. But I also, it wasn't just about wanting to watch. It was about them. I didn't want it to end for them because they have shown us what it is to really play for one another, to love one another. And that's where it's more than a game. That's what you get from organized sports, especially from quality organizations with quality people. This is a special team. We have said that since last season. For some reason, there are people this season who decided to attack the team with all kinds of outrageous stuff. All kinds of outrageous stuff. And so I had to make my circle very small, which in and of itself was not, kind of painful to do, honestly, for a bit, but ultimately the best thing. But in spite of toxicity here and there, we saw a Caitlin and Aaliyah ritual. We saw a Caitlin, Sophie, and Ari, and Sydney, and Dantas when she didn't have to travel at home, and we saw who else am I missing? Goodness gracious, there's so many injuries. Caitlin, Sophie, Chloe, Dantas, Ari. Forgive me if I'm forgetting somebody. So many who showed up, who traveled with the team, who went to practices, who were totally invested. That it wasn't about me. It was about the team, the we above the me. We saw players like Bree Turner, who many of us spoke out and said, we'll pass on her, or when are they going to let her go? And yet we saw her just continue to support her team, not worry about her minutes, just love the team, just support the team. And then when her number began to get called more, we got to see what she could do, but she was the consummate professional. We saw Lexi with a knot on her head, with black eyes. We saw her with getting elbowed in that knocked her off her feet. We saw her with a back hurting, and I'm sure I'm missing other stuff with Lexi. But we saw her continue. We saw Odyssey with her knee hurt and continuing on. We saw tears coming down Caitlin's face when she realized this injury was different. We saw that. We saw Sid right there in the huddles, using her experience to help the team. We saw Ari on her scooter. Sophie during the season with the busted lip. We saw Sophie come to be that enforcer for Caitlin Clark. We saw KK, who just is growing and learning and say, hey, whenever you put me in, I'll give you what I got. We saw Chloe Bibby come on over from Australia, knockdown shot. We saw Shea Petty. We saw this team show us what it is to defy all the odds, to endure adversity. We even saw Keith Porter end up having an issue. And sadly, we saw Kelsey Mitchell have to be on that floor and not be able to finish. But we also saw that we wouldn't have been here without her. We saw Howard, who had us up and down sometimes, but she gave it all. We saw AB play out of like she hasn't played, man. I mean, we just saw so much, and I don't mean to leave anyone out. I don't have any notes. I'm just talking. And then when we saw Kelsey leave, we saw a coach who gave her team words that brought tears to so many eyes, because that's how you rally the troops, and they're locked in.
We've been in this position before, right? Okay, we got to fight for our teammates. Okay, tooth and nail. Ain't nobody in a better position to do this than us. Okay, we got to stay locked in everything that we do. We got to feel it. Okay, but when we step out on the floor, we got to honor it. Hey, we fight for her right now. Let's go. Together, 3. 1, 2, 3. Together.
So proud I am of them. You know, they have been an absolute joy to coach. It's an incredible group of women, an incredibly connected group. They're a great example to everybody what it means to just put one foot in front of the other, to persevere, to welcome people into the fold, to not give in to circumstance, to lead with grace and dignity, to sacrifice for a greater good and a common good. I'm so thankful to coach these women. And I'm just thankful for this experience with them.
Like I said, sports are a microcosm of society. If they make you upset with them, they make you scream at the television, but they also make you love them. And at the end of the day, they gave us more than people thought they would. People had counted them out. I always believed. And man, I wanted them to be able to totally blow everyone's minds and get to the next level. I do feel that that was taken from them. Now, they didn't play perfect basketball. They had way too many turnovers. But even with the turnovers and even with the foul trouble, they were right there. And so were the officials. Let's go to the box score. I'll just read through. I'll read through some of the numbers. What a game it was. Like, what a game. Oh my goodness, it was a game. 98 Indiana, 107 Vegas. Indiana and Vegas tied 23 after the first. Indiana scored 22, Vegas 24 after the second. So Vegas had a 2-point lead going into the half. Third quarter, Indiana scored 18, Vegas scored 24. Fourth quarter, Indiana bounced back 23 points, Vegas 15 points, and then came overtime. And that's the difference. It was like Vegas couldn't miss anything in overtime. 12 Indiana, 21 Vegas. Just going to run through here the points and some other things, I guess. Howard, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 4 of them offensive, 3 assists, 1 steal. 11 points from Aaliyah Boston, 16 rebounds, 7 of them offensive, 2 assists. And of course, the 6 fouls, at least a couple of which was phantom fouls. Odyssey Sims, 27 points. She really showed up in this game on 7 of 14 shooting. She had 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal. 15 points from Kelsey Mitchell. She would have, I'm sure, been all that in the fourth quarter. And would we have even needed overtime if she were able to play? But she gave us everything she got. And like I said, we'll talk about that in a separate video. 15 points on 4 of 8 from the field, 3 of 3 from 3, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. 12 points from Lexi Hall. She has 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block. Bree Turner with 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. And then we got 13 points from Shea Petty, 2 and some big shots there. She was 3 of 5 from 3, 5 of 9 from the field, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. And then we had Ariel Powers, who had 2 points and 1 rebound and 1 steal. But when you look at the fouls here, 3 on Taj, 6 on Aaliyah, 5 on Odyssey, and then 2 on Kelsey, 1 on Lexi, 4 on Bree Turner, 3 on Shea Petty, 1 on Ariel Power. So you can see here, wow, the 6 on Aaliyah, and then the 4 on Bree. Seems like the people who are guarding Asia Wilson, excuse me. Of course, you can't breathe on her. Nalissa Smith, 5 points, 1 steal, 3 blocks. 35 points from Asia Wilson. She had 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, 4 blocks, and only 2 personal fouls. And most of the game, she only had 1. And let's be honest, as I said in the video and pointed out and showed you clearly, Asia Wilson moves on 99.9999% of her screens. I saw one screen last night where she didn't move. She's moving. She's thrusting her hip out. We got to clean this thing up. Why is that allowed? And then Aaliyah Boston gets fouled out on going after a rebound. Jackie Young had 32 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, 1 steal. And then we get to Megan Gustafson with 5 points and a flop, a big one. That, of course, worked against Aaliyah Boston. 5 points, 2 assists, 1 block. 8 points from Jewel Lloyd, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. And also, should have had a flagrant 1 on her taking down Lexi Hull. 5 points from Dana Evans, 2 assists. Indiana shot 47.9% from the field. Aces shot 47.5% from the field. So the Aces get the win and move on to play the who are they? The Phoenix Mercury. Lots of people saying they have zero interest in watching Freight Train Thomas going against Asia Special Whistle. It's hard when you don't have anybody to root for. So maybe some of you do. Maybe you have a dog in that fight, as they say. But yeah, I am so proud of this team, and that's an understatement. And again, if you are one of those people who like you just like whatever, then you're probably like, why is she so emotional? Why are so many people so emotional? Because they're invested, because this is a story that is just absolutely amazing. What this team managed to do last night really is it encapsulates what they've done all season, even to the Kelsey Mitchell injury, and even to Aaliyah Boston fouling out. All season long, this team has dealt with injury, has dealt with poor officiating, and yet this team found itself in a game 5 on the road against the number 2 team filled with champions and Olympians and took them to the limit. And then, the Zebras stepped in. But what a battle. Proud of this team. Really proud. And thank you to those of you who have rocked with the Adrienne Ross show. It's been great. And a special thank you to the moderators of the channel, to the people who are in the live streams. And I mean, people are constantly talking about what a community we have. What a generous group of people. What a fun group of people. It's just been amazing. And I'm talking about like it's over. It's not. We're rocking on here in the Adrienne Ross show. And so let's rock on together. But I just wanted to show that love to the Fever. It's been emotional, but gotta love them. My goodness, what a God story. And now you know. I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.